Hey guys, it's Kina. Welcome back to my channel. The pumpkin spice train is still chugging along this fall, and today we're making cookies. Okay, so iced pumpkin cookies. Today, this one is coming from basically my favorite sober recipe site, if that's Allrecipes. So they have a pumpkin recipe over there, so I figured, you know what? I should mix it up, remix it a little bit, and add our secret ingredient and see how that goes. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. The recipe is really inspired by that recipe. It won't be the same item for item or word for word, but I will make sure that I link the original sober recipe down in the comments for you guys, or the description box if you want to see that. But basically, let's just go ahead and get started. Basic cookie ingredients: flour, baking powder, baking soda, pumpkin pie spice, pureed pumpkin, sugar, egg, vanilla, and half a cup of cannabis butter. Okay, let's jump right in. First things first, dry ingredients. Pretty much always when you're baking something. So I already have my baking powder and soda in here with the flour, but I'm gonna just add that pumpkin pie spice. I'm just gonna get this stirred in just a little bit so that it's not just sitting right on top, but it's pretty simple, just kind of mixing it in there. And that's kind of it. Like, I'm terrible at sifting. I think I told y'all that before. Like, I have a bunch of sifters actually, because I'm the kitchen gadget queen, but I don't know. I think maybe it's lazy. I never use a sifter. But also, I buy really good quality flour that's really fine. So typically I don't have any like lumps and bumps or anything like that, and it doesn't stay in my cabinet or pantry too long because I bake so much. So forgive me for not sifting, but you can feel free at this point, if you're a sifter, to add those same dry ingredients but using your sifter just to get them, you know, as soft and blended as possible. But other than that, that's it. So now we'll move on to our mixing bowl for the stand mixer, but you can do this by hand if you want, but I don't recommend it because you really want to whip up your butter and sugar. So that's what we're going to do now, is get the butter and sugar in our mixing bowl over in the stand mixer and whip it up until it's nice and creamy. Okay, and into that perfectly creamed butter sugar mixture, just the pumpkin, the egg, and the vanilla. Finally, I'm just gonna pop in these dry ingredients, and that's really it. We're gonna get them to just mix, not like super soupy like a cake batter, just until it's incorporated, and that's it. We'll be ready to scoop the dough. Okay, that looks pretty good, like we want it, nice and thick. So like I said, now we can just start to scoop it. So I'm gonna take this off, probably scrape it down a little bit because we got it all kind of over the place. I hate the way that pumpkin splashes when you're kind of mixing it. That's probably the only thing that I don't like about cooking with pumpkin, but we'll get it cleaned up and then we'll get scooping. Okay, so now the Allrecipes sober version of this recipe actually calls for tablespoon size dropfuls of the cookie for 15 to 20 minutes. You're more than welcome to do that. I just don't happen to have a tablespoon size ice cream scoop. You guys know when I make muffins, cookies, scones, cupcakes, whatever, I like to keep it clean, and I love to use an ice cream scooper. So you can totally just use like a regular tablespoon measuring spoon to get yours out if you want to follow the sober recipe. My recipe will be different. It will have specifically indicated that I'm using half a tablespoon of dough, and I'm going to do them for 8 to 10 minutes. So just so you know that, just so you see that little note that my recipe obviously is different than the Allrecipes, but I just wanted to make sure that I made that distinction. So other than that, let's get started. that's about enough for the first batch. So let's get these in the oven, like I said, 8 to 10 minutes because I'm using half a tablespoon. Okay, so these little darlings have had an opportunity, I just knocked one on the floor. They've had an opportunity to bake and cool down just a little bit. One note I would say is I forgot that usually when you make a cookie that's a little bit more cakey and soft, that they typically don't spread on the pan when you put them in the oven. They'll just bake in a dome, basically the same way that you scoop them. So just as a hint for you guys, if you even care, maybe press them down with your finger or like the back of a spoon, just so that they're flat if you want them to be flat. Because like I said, they came out kind of dome shaped the way they came out of the ice cream scooper. But as my mama says, they eat the same. Okay, so no biggie there. The final step is super easy. We're just gonna go ahead and ice them. So make sure your cookies are completely cool before you ice, otherwise it'll just kind of melt all over the place. I think these are, yeah, these are cool enough to ice, but yeah, your icing will be kind of sticky and gross and smeary if you don't wait until they're cool. Now I'm just gonna be using some store-bought cookie icing because I don't feel like making icing today. But if you want to kind of amp up the recipe, because these are about 5.5 milligrams of THC each, because the recipe with the half a tablespoon makes about 72 cookies-ish. So if you want to amp it up a little bit and you want to infuse your cookie icing, then I would recommend the cream cheese icing on page 47 of my cookbook. It's made with red velvet cupcakes, but obviously you can use it the same way to drizzle your cookies. So if you want to amp it up a little bit, you have that option, but right now I'm just going to be using some good old store-bought. Now, the way I like to do when I'm icing anything in like a drizzle pattern is to not really focus on one cookie. You want to kind of clump them together on whatever your surface is. And then from above, we're just gonna drizzle over the whole section. So then we'll get, you know, perfectly drizzled icing on each cookie. Oh my gosh, those look really good. And they're gonna go perfect with my tea. So I'm ready to go ahead and give it a taste as usual. All right, let's see, let's pick a good one. All right, put this down. Let's see. Yeah, ooh, that is good. Now, I will say, because I don't have a super strong sweet tooth, that store-bought icing is like, boop, like it's super sweet. Like it's like, it wakes you up. Now I don't sweeten my tea, so it'll be a good balance anyway, but the icing does amp up the sugar content a little, but it's really good. Very pumpkin-y. Sometimes when you have something that's considered like pumpkin spice, you really don't taste a lot of pumpkin, you just get a lot of cinnamon. This is very pumpkin-y, super yummy. I hope you guys give it a try. Let me know in the comments if you tried it out, what your favorite pumpkin spice concoction is. You probably only got what, 1-2 more weeks of October left in the early fall to make some pumpkin spice stuff and get away with it. So I hope you guys like these. Let me know and show me pictures on Instagram if you do go ahead and try it, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.